Let's turn to vaccines. We've been working with the federal government on this. I had a conversation a couple hours ago with the vice president about this, and we continue to learn more, and this continues to be fine-tuned, and this will be a work in progress. This is not something that we're going to set it and it's just going to go. It's going to be continued to be fine-tuned. But let me repeat what the main objectives are. I think these are the same objectives we have as the federal government has, and I think it's the kind of universal objectives. One is to save lives, to cover the most vulnerable people as quickly as we can, people who are in a situation where they're more likely to get it, and if they do get it, or more likely not to have good outcomes. The second is to slow the spread of the virus. And third objective, one more certainly, is to make sure that our healthcare workers, those people who are on the front line, risking their lives, and those people who we rely on, not just for help with COVID patients, but with others, that they are able to do their jobs and that we can do everything that we can to keep them safe. So as we look at the objectives, we'll be starting, we hope, the middle of this month in phase 1A. The priorities that we have set are consistent with the priorities that have been given by the CDC. And I want to go through these in just a general description. There may certainly be different groups that have been left out, but I'm trying to give you all an understanding of how this is going to work. As we begin phase 1 of the vaccine distribution, we hope that is around December 15th. The following are the priorities. And these are priorities not in order. They are all the priorities that we will be working to get the vaccine out to just as quickly as we can. Healthcare workers and personnel who are involved in the care of COVID-19 patients. Read again, healthcare workers and personnel who are involved in the care of COVID-19 patients. EMS responders. It's the second group. Then we come to a series that I'm going to read to you of different groups, but they really all come under this definition, and that is that we will prioritize vulnerable individuals who live together in close proximity and those who care for them. Vulnerable individuals who live together in close proximity and those who care for them. These are the ones that we have found. These are the ones who we have found to be the most vulnerable. This would include residents and staff at nursing homes, residents and staff at assisted living facilities, patients and staff at state psychiatric hospitals, people with intellectual disabilities and those with mental illness who live in group homes or centers and staff at those locations, residents and staff at our 2 homes for Ohio veterans. So these would be examples of individuals who will be in Group 1A. Now, we are still waiting for confirmation, firm confirmation about what will be sent out in the month of December. So we can give you what we believe these numbers are. And I will tell you what has been confirmed and what has not been confirmed. But the federal government has made clear that we will not know for sure what these numbers are until we are notified in that week. A few days before we get them, we will get a number. and we will know that those are in fact coming. It is our understanding, again, this is subject to change, subject to shipment, and we're just trying to provide people of Ohio the best information we can at this point. It is subject to change. Pfizer, on or about, if this is approved, if this is all approved, we would anticipate around December 15th, there will be a shipment that comes out. On that shipment, 9,750 will go to our hospitals. This will be the vaccine that's pre-positioned. In that shipment, you will have 88,725 that will go to Walgreens and CVS to go to congregate care settings, basically in that first phase of the nursing homes. On December 22nd, we have confirmation of 201,000 from Moderna. That will go to hospitals. 98 hospitals have been signed up, 108 health departments. Hospitals will obviously work at vaccinating those who are dealing with COVID patients. Health departments will distribute this to people like EMS. They will vaccinate people who are EMS, home health care workers, for example. And there will be more examples, but those will go to, as I said, to hospitals and health departments. On that same day, we have a tentative number for Pfizer that we're seeking some confirmation on, but that number is 123,000. That number is 123,000 on December 22nd. Those, will continue to go then through Walgreens and CVS, and those will go directly. They will be vaccinating people in nursing homes and staff. Going to next date, a few days later, it will be another 148, we believe, coming from Pfizer, 148,000, and 89 from Moderna. So that's what the month looks like. Again, the second and third shipment from Pfizer has not been confirmed. We've got those amounts tentative, but they have not been, at least at this moment, confirmed. Let me now go to Dr. Joe Castaldo, asking him to join us and really talk about vaccines, why they're important to our work to eradicate the virus. He's Ohio Health's Medical Director for Infectious Diseases, Medical Director of Quality and Safety for Riverside Methodist Hospital. Doctor, thank you very much for being with us.
Thank you, Governor DeWine. As you know, in Ohio, we remain in a world war against a ruthless enemy, the coronavirus causing COVID-19. Thus far, we have a few weapons. We know that mitigation strategies like wearing a mask and limiting your exposure to people outside of your household help prevent infection. In the hospital, we have two useful medications to use in patients who have COVID-19, remdesivir and steroids. Soon, as you previously stated, we are likely to have another major weapon against defeating this virus, vaccines. Having an effective vaccine and vaccination program will be the first major step in getting us back to a pre-COVID way of life. Preliminary data from both the Pfizer and Moderna vaccines suggests that the vaccines are about 95% effective. What does that mean? It means that receiving a vaccine will prevent people from getting ill. It means receiving a vaccine will keep people out of the hospital, and it means receiving a vaccine will save lives. I'd like to make a few comments about the information we know about the two vaccine candidates from Pfizer and Moderna. Collectively, both trials prioritize safety and the highest scientific testing methods. Together, both studies have enrolled about 75,000 people from diverse populations. On December 10th, Pfizer will have their data reviewed at the FDA by a group of independent, non-government employed scientists, physicians, vaccinologists, and other top experts in their field. The data is going to be reviewed with a fine-tooth comb. No stone will be left unturned. Next, after a hopeful FDA approval, it then goes to another group of independent experts and scientists at the CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices for review and vaccine recommendations. Both review meetings at the FDA and CDC are open to the public. In addition, at the CDC meeting, major medical societies will have representation at the table for review and discussion of the data. After a transparent FDA approval and CDC recommendation, a vaccine will become available for Americans to receive. As a person of science, as an infectious disease physician, and a formal pharmacist, I have the utmost confidence in the outlined review process. When a COVID vaccine is FDA approved and CDC recommended, I will be rolling up my sleeve sometime, hopefully in the near future. I will recommend this vaccine to my parents, to my family, my friends, and to most importantly, my patients.
Doctor, thank you very much for giving us a description of kind of how this process works. I know some people have said, gee, this process was quick. This happened faster. Should that worry us? Is there anything about that should worry us? And why is it fast? Why has it been able to be faster?
That's a great question, Governor DeWine. So back in the spring, the federal government introduced Operation Warp Speed as coming up with a more efficient way to get a vaccine out there, knowing that we are in a pandemic. What I could tell you is the way the studies are done for approval of these vaccines is the exact same way that we have done it with previous vaccines. We're doing it in a more efficient way that does not compromise any of the safety. In addition to that, the review processes that I outlined through independent groups within the FDA and the CDC are completely the same way we have done it for years by two independent groups of experts in their fields. Both of these open reviews at the FDA and CDC are open to the public. For me, it's going to be must-see television. I will be listening to those. I'm going to be looking at all of the details of the study.
Okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate it, Doctor. Thanks for coming on and helping us understand. And I'm sure that the news is going to be filled with this over the next week or so, and people are going to have the opportunity to just turn their TV on and watch some of this. And you said actually these are public meetings, is that right?
That's correct, Governor DeWine. Both the FDA and CDC's meetings for review are open to the public. And again, I will be watching them. I think it's very important for people to understand the science and the safety of the vaccines. Yes, vaccines will help save lives, but we have to have a vaccination program. People have to choose to be vaccinated. I will say this, I'm almost giddy about having vaccines because I've been talking about COVID now for almost a year, and I want to talk about other things and infectious diseases. And having a vaccine be accepted is the first big step we have to get us to herd immunity and a pre-COVID way of life.
Thank you, Doctor. As you look at this and based on what you have read, what you have heard, side effects from this, if I take this, someone takes it, what kind of side effects would they expect?
Thank you, Governor DeWine. That's a good question. So keep in mind, all the information we have is preliminary data, and it's going to be reviewed, like I said, with a fine-tooth comb at the FDA and CDC. What's being reported so far is people may have a sore arm, they may have a headache. What's important for people to realize is that when you get a vaccine, we want your immune system to become stimulated. So you develop immunity to the vaccine. So it's not going to be uncommon for people to feel off kilter for 24 hours. They may have a headache, they may have fatigue. That's not a toxicity, that's your body's way of responding to your injection and developing immunity and protection to this virus.
Doctor, thank you. Dr. Castaldo, thank you for doing this. I'm sure you're going to keep us informed. If you see anything, we'll have you back. Anything you want to tell us.
Thank you, Governor DeWine.
Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate it very, very much.